Hello and welcome to Mystic Monday. I'm Jolie and I love to do card readings. So if you want to book one privately, I love to do that on Zoom and in person. And right now I'm choosing a card, or rather, a card is being chosen to start this reading, a little bit kind of like roots of a tree. What do we need to know today? Take a deep breath. Let it go. I have never seen this card before, and I work with this deck frequently. Healing chaos. And do you see all the butterflies around this tornado? So it's so interesting because before I started this reading today, the message that was coming to me from Spirit is to remind everyone that it might feel like you're on a roller coaster right now and not to get disheartened by that. Like, literally, one day you might feel on top of the world, like everything is working out for you, you're making it, success is here and has arrived. And then the next day you might feel really down, like low, like, why am I having these low vibrational thoughts? Why am I having these strange feelings, fears, worries? I feel like I've overcome that in my life. Like, I feel like that's an old version of me. And why are these things coming back? And if that's the case, I want to remind you that healing is not linear. It's not a straight line. It's not even a graph that goes up and down. Healing is a spiral. And you do ascend, so to speak, or you could say you go down and you get deeper. But patterns and things that were meant to shift and realign, they circle back around in different forms. So I love that this card is the root of this reading because it's a deep indication that if you've been feeling some like kind of crazy storms, like even just a day feels like a storm, this is very normal and natural because we're moving from 2024 to 2025. Like, when I'm making this recording, even though they are timeless, it's currently December 23rd, 2024. So, right before Christmas and moving into the new year and just the winter solstice 2 nights ago. So, you're being asked to bring it up and to heal it and to remind yourself over and over and over, this isn't bad, this isn't a setback, this isn't um, something derailing me. It is part of your ascension, it is part of your awakening. And when we are in a fast moving ascension process, like being moved into like higher planes of existence, when we're stepping deeper into our purpose, things can get messy and chaotic to literally cleanse all of that out of your life. So that is really interesting that that came out. I've never seen that before. It's just amazing. And I love butterflies. So, such a powerful message. Speaking of the winter solstice 2 nights ago, now that we are welcoming back the light, I literally chose this priestess of light deck to help us be aligned with where our intentions maybe should be placed. I don't like the word should. I don't like to should on people. You should do this or that. That puts friction and pressure into the situation. But it's always good to know, like, where are we being invited and urged to put our energy. Sacred action, decisive focus. Pretty cool. She looks really powerful, and there is either a full moon or a sun behind her, whatever you choose to view that as. Decisive focus. So, where are you wanting to go? And maybe you don't know yet and you need to ask. It is so important to ask. Spirit guides, whatever you believe in, connect in for connection, for signs and synchronicities on where you are meant to go. If you already have some sort of inkling or decided path, go for it. What I want to mention about focus is we get confused with the word focus. That can also be a somewhat constricting word where we're like shutting into doing on ourselves. Sometimes focus literally means sitting in meditation and focusing on peace while the thoughts are happening. If you think that you need to sit down and focus on your goal, on your manifestation, sometimes that becomes counterintuitive and you create friction where you don't need it. So, just a reminder that focus isn't always quite so literal in these spaces. I have this unshakable inner peace deck. I feel like with the holidays, peace is a big word, right? We say peace on earth, goodwill to men. We're looking for peace. We're looking for joy. We want to hopefully enjoy the holidays. And I just want to take a moment that whether the holidays are a joyous time for you, a stressful time, or a sad time, do take time to be with what you're experiencing. Carve out some time for self care, for meditation, for breath work, for a nap. Do something to help yourself stay grounded during this time because not only can the holidays be a bit, crazy for people, we've got all these changes happening where a lot is going on in the spiritual realms. Okay, don't run from the darkness. Embrace your shadow side. What aspect of yourself have you been afraid to look at and address? That's interesting. So, this kind of reminds me of the first card. We're getting some deep shadow work is needed because how do we move forward with light, from light, being the light, sharing the light if we haven't addressed our darkness? So, shadow work simply means doing work in and around what's bothering you emotionally, maybe past trauma that you're still working on healing. And I love to help people with that, by the way. So feel free if you ever need some support to book a private session. That's one of my favorite things to do is to help people get out of pain and suffering and into states of ease and joy and bliss. And I have a lot of ways to help people get there. All right, so this is called the Ancient Stones Oracle. Let's take a breath again. Hold it a few moments at the top and let it go. It's interesting. I'm noticing that these cards today, usually like a card just flies right out. And today, that's not the case, which is interesting. It always means something. All right, what do we need to hear from this deck? Oh, there it is. I usually wait for one to flip over into my hand or to fall out. Obstacle, find another road. Flexibility, change. So this is really cool, especially if you listen to my Mystic Mondays. Like every week, you start to see the patterns yourself, right? So it's not that this reading is showing like heaviness or bad things, but I just feel so strongly that it's saying the year is coming to an end. What do you need to cleanse? What do you need to clear? What do you need to look at? What do you need to release so that you can step into your highest, brightest, most charged up, empowered self? Because look at this card. I mean, it's gorgeous. I know that it says obstacle and it's like right in her path, but look at all that light waiting for her on the other side. Find another road, flexibility and change. So I feel like this has to do with some effort in your life, like some maybe new idea, new project, new hobby. Is there something in your life where you're meeting resistance, or I should say, resistance is meeting you on the path? Take time. Like, what is that? What are you trying? What are you pushing? What are you really wanting to happen? Remember when you want something, see the energy, you want it, see my face, see my energy. you are blocking it. Like when you want something, you're sending out the vibration of, I don't have it. Because you're like, I want this thing, right? You have to let go of that. You've got to get into the flow. You've got to get into the present moment. You got to get into a space where you're open and your emotions and thoughts are aligned to help manifest what you want in this beautiful way of I have. I am abundant. I am a goddess. I am a god. I am a master creator. I am source energy inhabiting this human body. So, what this is saying is like, what have you been pushing and forcing that is showing up as some constriction in your life? It doesn't mean it's not for you, it means you can't see the forest for the trees. So, where do you need to turn your attention? Can you see other roads, other paths, other options, maybe other people coming in to aid or assist you? This is an important card. I hope that that is resonating for you in what you need to do. Okay, so I've got these cute little, like, call it a mentee oracle. I'm going to choose two cards from this deck because they're kind of like keyword cards, because this is really interesting, right? We've got um, healing chaos. We've got the shadow work card. I'm just going to remind you again. We've got the healing chaos, right? Then we've got the sacred action, decisive focus. So I feel like this is combining with this obstacle, right? You're being asked to like change your path, change what you're so focused on. And then we've got this shadow work card. So we've got some really interesting energies coming through and what is being asked of us. And of course, two cards just fell right out of this deck as I was talking. I keep my own counsel. I love this. Do you see that eye above her? That is her connecting to spirit with her own spirit guides and those in the upper realms. This to me is saying that whatever this idea or vision is that you have, it's manifesting. It is in the dream work stage. Yes, you can share your dreams and aspirations with people close to you that you trust and love, but this is saying don't go around telling everybody. Sometimes it becomes leaky energy and people give you weird opinions. And, sometimes, especially if you're in the spiritual realms, people don't understand what you do, and you may not be met with the enthusiasm and joy that maybe you're hoping for. So I feel this is saying keep your own counsel as you shift, redirect, do the shadow work, and all of this stuff is coming together for you. But see how her hands are even crossing over her heart right now. It's time just to keep it close to you. Keep it close so it can manifest. I mean, it's kind of like digging a seed out of the soil, right? Like when we keep our own counsel, it's like that beautiful little seed down in the soil that's all safe and protected in the dark, and it's just incubating and receiving from its environment, and then pretty soon it's going to burst open and its insides will come out and it'll start to grow, right? I feel like you have this seed, and if you keep digging it up to look to see if it's sprouted, you might actually harm it or destroy it. You have to just let it be and let it grow. Okay. I am accepting. Wow, this is a cool card. Look at that. I'm accepting. Look how much peace there is in acceptance. There's absolutely no emotion on her face. This energy is just effortlessly hovering above the hand. So I feel like, again, you might feel like you're on a roller coaster right now. One day you feel like you've arrived and everything's working for you. The next day you're feeling frustration. What do you need to accept? Maybe it's just accepting where you are at this moment. Maybe it's accepting that you just need to take a break. Like put it down for a minute and go do something else. Go do something you've never done before. Go somewhere you've never been before. Change up your habits and routines to get out of that habitual thinking and doing, because big stuff is happening. Big stuff is happening. And everything you're experiencing is good if you're willing to see it as good. If you're willing to see the perspective that it's moving you to higher, brighter, better, then all of this is going to come together really quickly. But you are being asked to be in peace and to accept what is as it is aligning. All right, I feel I have a couple more cards that want to come out. Oh, I don't think I've actually pulled from this. This is called the Sacred Forest deck. So it's calling to me, and I just realized I have not. Oh, there we go. All right. Elves, playfulness. How cute is that? I told you it, oops, it's December 22nd, 2 days before Christmas, and there's elves. Okay, every single reading I've been doing for what feels like a good year or two, playfulness, fun, these things come up over and over and over. It could be for me because I'm a Capricorn and I can get too serious and I can get like very, very like work focused. But this has been for everybody. I think I said it last week. The worlds and the energies have been heavy. There's been just a lot of really like violent language being thrown around in the social media space. And it's like, why? The world's still here, guys. Everything is still happening. The sun's shining, right? Like life goes on. We don't need to be so serious. We're here to experience and enjoy our lives if we have the courage to get out of our own way and allow joyful, fun play, spontaneity, dancing. So I love that this came up. And oh my gosh, I'm just now seeing it. There's elves in the picture. Look at these cute elves. So come on, let's lighten up, literally lighten up. Fill yourself with light and lighten up. I know what we've been getting. There's some heavy stuff. It's happening for me too. It's why I relate and why I do these readings, because I've been having some kind of crazy, like, I'm having some sort of initiation into other psychic spiritual realms. And it's a little bit like, one day I'll be super frustrated, and the next day I feel like everything's flowing, and it's just part of the process of change. All right, unicorn purity. That is just so beautiful. Where can you purify your life? And do you see how there's just so much light and sparkling around just by imagining light within your body, lighting you up and sparkling in and around your body? You become a really powerful force in every space that you reside, everywhere that you go, even literally walking down the grocery store aisle. When you just start focusing on yourself as being filled with light, shining light, it has a major powerful impact. Not only does it purify you, it protects you, and it helps others. So focus on this. I feel like we have one final card to seal this reading. And I feel like Spirit is actually telling me there's two. And we're going to go back to the Priestess of Light Oracle and then the Unshakable Inner Peace to see how we can seal up this reading for today. Oops. Okay, well, there's all kinds of stuff going on. Cards are getting wild, and I'm just going to pick them up again because I felt like that was just the energy shifting, and I don't feel a connection to any of pretty much a quarter of the deck. Oh, just okay. Now I do. Okay. It flipped right over. Bright heart light, open connection. So it's interesting that I was just talking to you about the light and how important it is to visualize it brightly lit within you and radiating outwards. And now we have this card, bright heart light. So it's reminding you to shine light out of your heart. There's even a breath where you can inhale for 7, hold it for a few, count to the top, and then exhale the breath into your heart, focusing on a word like peace or joy. So I invite you to do some heart connection. It can be as simple as laying on your bed, placing your hand on your heart, focusing on your heart while you deep breathe, or it could be something like I just showed you. But it's really, really important to stay connected to your heart, because we only suffer when we get too identified with the thinking, with the thoughts, with the minds, and then those thoughts turn into emotions. So get heart centered, breathe into your heart, make sure you're leading with love. And finally, unshakable inner peace for this end. We do have one more reading before 2025. So next week will be all about the new year. Turn your worry into wonder. Surrender to the experience. What possibilities can you dream into reality? So you are being asked to dream right now. If there's anything you're worried about, turn it into wonder. How cool is that? And I would put that out for any emotion. If you're stressed, turn it into curiosity. If you're feeling down, where can you look for gratitude in your life? So if you're experiencing any unpleasant emotions that aren't keeping you in a beautiful state of peace, lean into those. Ask, like, what is this I'm experiencing right now? Where did this come from? Is it mine? Can I shift this right now? Is there a different perspective to be had? Because you are needed. Surrender to the experience. What possibilities can you dream into reality? You're being asked to step into big things. Thank you so much for being here in this reading. Again, I love to do private sessions, both on Zoom and in person. Reach out, and I will see you next time.